Hello, everybody. So I'm on an unscheduled live now. We're now live on YouTube. How's everybody doing? It's Cruise Chat Live on the wrong channel. So Rebecca, if you've got it on YouTube over there, it is in the wrong place right now.
I don't know. I don't know where it is.
You just have to change the channel to go find it. So sorry. I'm trying to see if I can delete it. But hi, everybody. I'm Walter, your independent travel agent. So we had a little issue on the YouTube side. For some reason, the show would not launch for me. So we're doing an unscheduled live over on YouTube. So I'm going to have to take that one down. But how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. So sorry, we have a new link on the YouTube side. Let me just let everybody know real quick over on the YouTube side. But hey, if you've got questions about cruising, just feel free to reach out, and we'll be happy to answer your cruising questions. Sorry, I'm trying to let everybody know where the show is. Here on YouTube. Oh my goodness gracious, folks. So technology is lovely when it actually works, but when it doesn't work, well, then our links break, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that. But I hope everybody's having a great day. As you can see, it's a beautiful day here in Orlando behind me. Yeah, so we're going to spend about the next hour or so answering all your questions about all things cruising, and hopefully y'all can see me. I'm so sorry that everything kind of got messed up a little bit there, but we're getting it. We're getting it. I'm going to go ahead and delete the old show so it goes away, because there does not appear to be a way. Let's see. Show is now moved to another stream. How about that? How about that? Don't you love technology, guys? So good morning. Oh my gosh. But how's everybody doing? Hey, Silver Librarian, how are you? Hey, Barbara, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just delete this stream altogether, because I just want to make sure nobody gets confused over there. There we go. I hope everybody can hear me. I hope everybody can see me just fine. But and I do apologize to those over on the YouTube side, because what's the matter, hon?
On TikTok, I'm hearing an echo.
I don't know.
But
I see both microphones on, so hopefully it's all working. Yeah. So hopefully the audio sounds good to everybody out there, and hopefully the folks on the YouTube side are catching up. I apologize for all of that. Yeah, I know. So sorry about it, guys. So yeah, please spread the word and let everybody know that we're over on a different stream now. So sorry. Hey, by the way, over on the TikTok side, if you're going to try to ask questions about our friends over at Virgin Voyages, please use the letters VV. You cannot use the word Virgin on TikTok in the comments. Don't ask me why, because Virgin Voyages is one of their largest channels out there. So yeah, hi guys, how's everybody doing? Thanks for coming over. So sorry. We had to switch over for some reason. Ecamm decided it didn't want to bring up the live stream that I set up. So sorry about that, guys. So welcome to the show. I am Walter, your independent travel agent with Where's Walter Travel. We're celebrating 3 years in the industry. We're just so friggin' excited about this. And we help you guys out with all things cruising, land tours, expeditions, wherever you want to go. And one of the coolest things is we are part of KHM Travel Group, which is out of Cleveland, Ohio, and there's about 5,200 of us that all work under that umbrella. And in some cases, y'all come to me with something that is just outside my wheelhouse, but we have, over 5,200 agents to spread the love. And I have a case right now where a client specifically reached out for this big land celebration in Bali, and that's just a little bit outside my wheelhouse. So I connected her with one of our fellow KHM agents, and it's just so lovely. So yeah, so we can help you land, sea, cruise, expedition, the whole 9 yards. So hi guys, so thanks so much for tuning in. It's a pleasure to see everybody. I see everybody's coming up over on the YouTube side. So sorry about that. In fact, I deleted the other stream, so hopefully everybody's going to find this one now. Don't know what happened. Ecamm Live just decided to disconnect from that stream for some reason. The first time I've seen that. So it's doing all kinds of weird things. The other thing we notice is that it's not displaying the Facebook comments. So yeah, so we're noticing that too. So I've got another laptop set up over here. So anybody who's tuning in on Facebook, hopefully we will see your comments over here too. So if you've got questions about all things cruising or all things travel, please do go ahead and reach out and let us know. Oops, let me turn off that audio. But now I can see the chat. Okay, good. So I can see the chat everywhere. Nothing like technology throwing you off. John! Hey, man, your boss said he had a wonderful conversation with it. He did. We had a lovely conversation. Thank you so much for referring us. We're very excited about this one. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But yes, we welcome the referrals, and we're very thankful that you think enough of us to go ahead and recommend us to your friends and colleagues. So thank you very much. Yes, looking forward to putting that cruise together for sure. So Alex is saying Carnival just announced another bundle offer. I haven't really looked deep into them, but it's just like everything else. You've got to do the math. Are you going to drink enough? That's the main thing. If you're going to get the alcoholic package, are you going to drink enough to make it worthwhile? I can tell you with just about every drinks package out there except Princess Plus, it never works in my favor. Princess Plus is really one of the only packages that I get. Yeah, and Norwegian too. Yeah, because Norwegian is the most inexpensive out there. So I always get the whatever they're going to call it today. Today it's free at sea. Yesterday was more at sea. Maybe the next day, maybe tomorrow is going to be the ultimate more at sea. Who knows?
Well, maybe it'll be more free at sea.
Yeah, more free at sea. Let's do that. Let's do that. Nice. Good morning. Oh, God, Mimi's here, everybody. Hey, guys, how are you? I'm so glad that y'all found me over here. So let's see. Somebody said that they were just on. You loved your Virgin Voyages 11-day cruise last January. Yes. So we did 13 nights from Quebec to Miami. Oh, my gosh, that was amazing. So, yes, anytime you can get on a Virgin Voyages cruise, for 7 nights or longer, that's when you can really enjoy all the restaurants and everything about it. And, of course, we are a top 100 sales agent for Virgin Voyages here in the U.S. 3 years in a row. So exciting. I'm really excited. We're going on a voyage with them in January. They invite all the top 100 sales agents to come on board, and we're going on a voyage with them. So we're excited because we're going on Scarlet Lady for the first time since she got her glow up, and now she's got the what's it called? Lucky Lotus restaurant. Yeah. So Benny's counting down to Italy. 312 days until Italy and Croatia. That is the way to do it. Yay! Josh, what luxurious cruise line yet offers the most entertainment? Well, I
think that depends a lot on what you consider entertaining.
Yeah, and also when, with luxurious, obviously, so number one, the luxury ship immediately gets smaller. So they can't do, the really big, they can't do the really, really big shows. But, that being said, like we were on the Azamara Journey for Christmas last year, they put on some of the most lovely and entertaining original production shows. They absolutely blew us away. There's like six dancers and performers and then the house band. And I was like, this is really, really good. And yet...
Didn't they also have some pretty good
guest entertainers?
No, were they the ones that had those enrichment speakers that we liked?
I think so, yes. They had some really good enrichment speakers as well. So, when it does depend on what you mean by entertainment. If you're looking for big production shows, you're just not going to get those on the small ships. You're going to get more bands with a singer. You might get a little bit of dancing. You're always going to have like the piano players. Oceania had strings. They have this beautiful strings quartet that pops up all the time. So, it just depends on what you mean by entertainment. The luxury ships do tend to be quieter. We were on Explorer Journeys, one of my favorite cruise lines, but the singers were phenomenal. The band was amazing, like one of the best house bands I've ever heard on any cruise ship, but the shows that they were given to perform were underwhelming. So it wasn't their fault. They were amazing. But the shows were underwhelming. But then the guest performer came on, and he was a lead singer for a Queen tribute band. Oh my God, he just like rocked the whole house out. So I, it depends on what you mean entertaining, and
Yeah, I would
just
say,
know that they're going to be smaller shows. So I don't think anybody books Silver Sea, Oceana, Azamara, Explorer, all of that for the shows. They're more booking it for the ship, the service, the food, and the itinerary.
and I would say the smaller, more luxury lines also have more of a focus on the enrichment speakers and kind of like a lot of smaller activities for
Yeah.
people to do. So
Yeah, like Azamara, their claim to fame is that, or what they really lean into is that they spend more time in port than just about anybody else out there. So they have more overnight. So their whole emphasis is on the destination, not so much on the entertainment. So I don't think there's not near as much emphasis on having high-end entertainment on the luxury ships as there would be, say, on like a Royal Caribbean, a Carnival, where that is part of the driving factor to get you onto the ship. Great question, though. So you never took a cruise and you're looking for something. Well, then the first thing you should do is reach out to somebody like me. And no pun intended, but cruising is a whole different kind of animal. And the biggest thing about taking your very first cruise is to make sure that you are on the best ship and the best itinerary for whatever type of vacation that you want to get, because there is literally a ship and an itinerary out there for everybody. But if you get on the wrong ship, the wrong itinerary, you get the wrong room and the wrong expectations, you're not giving yourself, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, and you're going to be one and done on a cruise ship. So I do highly recommend, if you want to reach out to me, you can. My links are right there, or one of my many colleagues, because our services are 100% free, so we don't charge you a dime for our services. And one of the things that we do is we're going to do an intake call. I want to listen to, what's drawing you to a cruise ship to begin with. What type of a vacation do you want? We have ships from 200 people all the way up to 7,000 people and everything in between. There's over 350 cruise ships out there. So the biggest thing is for us to listen to what you're looking for and then match you up with the best ship and the best itinerary for that first cruise. So that's my first piece of advice, is you really do want to work with a travel advisor to match you up with the right ship for that first cruise. Because there's literally so much, there's so many options out there, literally so many options. We've been on 12, soon to be 13 cruise lines, and we've enjoyed every single one of them so far. Some we enjoy more than others, but there's no ship that we've gone on that we would not go back to again. So that's my biggest piece of advice, is work with somebody. Again, if you'd like to work with us, you're watching on TikTok, there's links in the bio. Over on YouTube, there's links in the description, the new description, that now that we had to pop over to over here. So yeah, so if you've got any questions, just reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you out. So, and welcome to the cruise family. Good morning. You just booked a solo cruise on Quantum. So Quantum class on Royal Caribbean is one of those that has that does have the solos. In fact, I think they had the solo balconies too, which is great, which is absolutely great. Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that there are, I don't know, there's like 200 or so solo cabins across the Royal Caribbean fleet. You just need to know where they are. I don't think they put any on the Icon class. I think we looked that up. I think the Icon class, or no, I think they did. I think there are a couple. No, I don't know. There's so many cabin categories over there. So, yeah, let's see.
it's like I was reading on Cruise Critic about somebody who is complaining about a cruise line's 2-category upgrade.
Yeah.
And they assumed, because they booked an interior, that it would be
Good point.
a balcony.
Good point.
That is not the case.
That's
on
not how it
pretty
works.
much every cruise line.
That is not how it works. So that is a great, boy, that'll be a good TikTok actually. But a 2-category upgrade. I book an interior, I'm going to get a balcony. No, actually you are not. You're going to get 2 categories up from where you are. So the interior, the ocean view, the balcony, the suite, those are types of staterooms. Those are not categories. The categories are all the subcategories inside, the AE, the B1, the C2, the GY, whatever whatever those little designations are in front of the interior, the ocean view, the balcony, and da-da-da-da-da. Those are the actual categories. So if you book a bottom level interior on Royal Caribbean, you're going to get bumped up 2 more interior levels. So you're just going to move position on the ship. That's what the 2 category upgrade is most of the time.
And I think this person, you know, they were claiming bait and switch, but they just
It
did
is
not
not bait
read
and
all the
switch,
fine
no.
print.
Do I think they will reopen cruises to Cuba? Boy, I sure wish they would. I think in the current political climate, no. The answer is no for now. But I sure wish they would. I mean, we booked our very first cruise. Like, we booked Virgin Voyages like within weeks of them announcing, you know, when they opened up. And it was a Havana Nights or something like that is what it was called. So we were very excited. We were going to go on a new cruise line. We're going to go to Cuba. So I think in the current political climate, probably not, but it would certainly be nice if at some time, you know, they would open it up again. I would love to go down there. Judy likes the lawn ornament behind me over here. I know, I love that little guy. She's not flying right now. You know, we usually get that windmill going. So let's see. John, thank you for the tip. John is saying anybody who's booked on our Italy cruise, they've got some nice rates out of JFK, and that is our Italy, Best of Italy and Croatia cruise that we got coming up on the Celebrity Constellation. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful cruise, coming up out of there. Thank you, John, for that. We've got to start looking at our flights. We're only going one way. Because we're coming back to San Juan, and then we'll just have a short hop back from there. But yeah, let me just see. I want to make sure I look through here and see if I missed anything. Yeah, Silver Librarian is saying on Explorer 2, the band was amazing, but the singers were just okay, but the enrichment was awesome.
And you missed somebody asking about MSC.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rude kind of question, but
Yeah, but I understand
Yeah.
what they're saying.
Yeah,
Even if they said it in an unpleasant way.
Yeah, so is MSC not a good cruise line is really what the question is, and the answer is no, it's a great cruise line. You just have to set your expectations correctly, and the different ships are going to offer different experiences because MSC is an Italian cruise line, they're a European cruise line, and their whole thing when they came over here was we're going to bring a European style of cruising to America. And, you know, there is a subset of Americans who like that, and then there's a set of Americans who are like, well, I'm used to Princess, Celebrity, you know, Carnival, Norwegian. I'm used to how those cruise lines work. And on MSC, you can sometimes get standoffish and sometimes rude service. I've witnessed that. But then they came out with the World America, totally catering to the North American way of cruising, if you will. And that's getting rave reviews. So it just depends on the ship you go on. It depends on the time that you go on, you know, especially if you go on to the, you know, like the newer ship, you go on 7-night cruises, things like that. When you go on the shorter cruises, they're always going to be a party atmosphere. When you go on the longer cruises, it tends to be slightly more subdued, slightly, because everybody kind of paces themselves, although they throw a heck of a, what is it, that white party they throw? I mean, they throw a heck of a white party up there. So yeah, it's a really good cruise line. You just need to make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into when you go on there. And yeah, and that's again where a travel agent comes in to help. And MSC is, you know, now we got World Atlantic coming, so a second ship dedicated to the North American market. So they're starting to realize that they've got to tweak, you know, how they approach things here in the States. Because there's an expectation from cruisers from America and the Americas. So
I have a question. What is up with all these cruise lines having white parties? What's the deal about white parties?
I don't know. It's an old thing.
Yeah, I know.
Been around forever.
I don't have a lot of solid white things because I spill a lot.
Right, yeah.
So I tend to like, you know, colors and patterns, so it kind of blends in. But maybe that's just me. Of course, I'm not big on the themes for cruises either.
Well, hi, Jennifer, over on Facebook. Well, it's interesting. That one actually came through, but yet the other night they did not come through. So, yay, good. So I can see the Facebook comments. How are you? Alex wants to know who has snow. There's the question of the morning so far. The first question of the morning. Who has snow outside? For some reason.
There's Snope going on in Disney.
Yeah, so we have snow in Disney World. It's just, it's a little soapy, but yeah, does anybody have snow outside? How much snow do we have outside? Hey, Nurse Tara, how are you? And Diabetic says, there's such an introvert that a ship with 200 guests would make you anxious. You got to say hi to everybody. I mean, you don't have to. But yeah, that would be more like the American Cruise Line Coastal Cats. Those are really, really cool. But yeah, I mean it's a different way of cruising. We've been on the Osmar Journey. We've been on the Oceana Serena. Those are the two smallest ships we've been on, plus or minus 700 people, and they're just lovely. It's a whole different way of cruising. It really is. Beam's mom has 4 inches of snow. Nice. No snow in Puerto Rico. Oh, geez, really?
Weird.
Man, we're waiting on that snowstorm. Nancy's got it up in Connecticut. It's 36 in California, where Silver Librarian is.
I hope that's Northern California.
I don't know. I don't know where. I don't remember where she is. And Willie B does not have new snow, but they got snow up in the mountains. They fired up the snowmaking machine. Nice. I love it. Felix went to Cuba on Royal's Empress of the Seas. They docked for 2 days, and it was great. I'm telling you, man, I would just love to go on down to Cuba. I really would love to go down there. Judy says to bring a sheet and wear a toga, Rebecca. I'm sure housekeeping would love that.
A, not going to happen.
Yeah.
B, I'm just not really big on packing special clothes just for a one-night theme party.
Although we're doing it this coming cruise.
Yeah, but I'm just packing a mask. That's it.
Yes.
I'm
Plus
not
the
doing
dress.
Well, yes,
And I got
but
the tuxedo.
dress is, I would have a dress, maybe not that fancy of a
Yeah,
dress, but I
yeah.
have a dress.
Silver Librarian's in the Bay Area, by the way, where it's 36
Right.
degrees. So, yeah. But, yeah, so let's see. Nurse Tara has 3 inches of snow. Alan, hi. How are you? You got snow in New Jersey. Stefan has rain in southern Sweden. Hello, Sweden. I tell you, it's one of my favorite things. I say this all the time. I love that we can just all chat with each other. This is like the best part of social media, that we can all just kind of hang out together and talk cruising no matter where we are in the world. So I do love that.
I've been to Stockholm,
Oh,
and actually there was, I can't remember the name of the place we flew. I was doing a semester in Copenhagen during college, and we flew from Copenhagen to took a ferry, something from over to one of the coastal parts of Sweden, and then I ended up in Stockholm, because that's where my sister was doing a high school year in Stockholm.
nice. Brandy has a winter advisory in her part of Ohio. Nice. 56 and foggy in San Diego. Nice. Wow. So we've got snow out there. As you can see, absolutely nothing behind us here in Orlando. We have a beautiful day in Orlando. We do have a new puppy, though. A new black lab just moved in next door.
Not ours.
Not ours. No, it's not
Next
ours.
door.
But we have a new one next door. Oh, it makes me so happy because we lost Molly the Wonder Dog a few years ago. So it's nice to have a puppy, even if it's right next door. So Can loved Cuba and the Cubans. I'm telling you, man, I really want to go down there. Every video that I've seen from Cuba, it looks like just a beautiful country. It looks like lovely people down there. So it would be nice. It's one of my favorite things of cruising, one of my favorite things of travel, that we do get to go out and we do get to meet people from other cultures. And I think when you do that, you better understand the world and you better understand different points of view. So, yeah. So, yeah, Benny, for those of you who are just finding me over on YouTube, yes, we did have a show scheduled on YouTube, but somehow our eCam software lost it and would not let me launch the live stream. I don't know what happened. So I will be reaching out to them afterward, but that's why we had to switch to a new live stream over here on the YouTube side and also on the Facebook side. We had to switch over to a new stream. So Sorry about that. It is technology. It is what it is. So we just simply launched something. So here we are, having a good time.
Can't believe we're warmer than Southern California.
I know, we're warmer than Southern California. How about that? That's absolutely
we're
crazy.
about 70 degrees here.
So yeah, and you know, if you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe, to like, share, do all those wonderful things that social media loves for you to do. And if you've got any questions about cruising, and by the way, if you're new to the channel, you keep hearing this voice off camera. That is my lovely wife, Rebecca. She is the brains behind the whole operation. So I'm just a pretty guy on camera. Hi. Now, this company would not be anything where it is without Rebecca. And now we've got our amazing associates, Corey and Mindy. So some of you setting up appointments with me, if I'm double booked or I've got a few other things going on that I need to take care of, you might be hearing from Corey and Mindy as well, especially those of you who are writing in for the first time as new clients. We welcome you into the fold. But you might be hearing back from Corey and Mindy at times. So, and it's really nice because, you know, as we're going to be traveling, we're about to be traveling for 18 days or how many days? No, 13 days.
13 days.
They can step in and help out. So, but you can swim in Florida water where you'd freeze in California water. Yeah, I don't know how cold the water is in California, and I don't know.
We're in Central Florida, so.
Yeah, the water's not necessarily as warm here in Central Florida, especially because we have had some cold snaps come through, so I'm willing to bet the water's gotten a little chillier.
And pretty much, I wouldn't want to, like, our water is basically lakes, and I
Yeah,
wouldn't want to
here.
swim in any of the lakes here because you never know who lives there or who's visiting.
I mean, basically, any standing water in Florida, you just assume there's an alligator in there, or I guess we have alligators. Yeah, alligators. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah.
Not sure what it's like on the coasts, though.
I don't know either, too. I see John's getting excited about the pre-cruise itinerary for Italy. So, yeah, so this Italy cruise, we did just sell out. We just sold our last group rate room. Now, you can still come join the cruise. There's still plenty of room on the cruise, but you'll be booking at whatever the prevailing rates are on Celebrity right now. But this is the Celebrity Constellation sailing October 23rd through November 2nd of 2026. We're going to start in Ravenna, then we'll go to Split, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Messina, Salerno, Portofino, La Spezia, and then end up in Civitavecchia. So you'll be starting about 3.5 hours outside of Venice, and you'll end up about an hour outside of Rome. We're basically going to go right around Italy, and with a couple stops in Croatia. So that's October 23rd through November 2nd of 2026. And then if you have the time and the wherewithal, you can do a back-to-back cruise, stay on the ship, and do the transatlantic to San Juan. That'll be November 7th through the 17th. And we'll be stopping in Valencia, Cartagena, Malaga, Tangier, St. Martin before we end up in San Juan. And I think we've got 4 guests who are joining us for that part of it too. So we're going to be on the ship for 25 days. That's going to be a lot of fun. But we also put together a 6-day pre-cruise land tour. Originally, we set up a tour that had the hotels. We've got the trains. We got the transfers. We even had tours all built in. But the feedback that we got from most of our clients was, can we just lose the tours so we can do what we want to do? But we like the idea of having the group hotels, the group transfers, the group train, all of that stuff. So we rejiggered the proposal, and we're doing that. And it's actually very reasonable for 6 days for hotels, transfers, train tickets, the whole 9 yards. So it's going to make it a little easier for everybody, because then you don't have to figure out how, well, how am I going to get from here to there? So we're going to start in Rome. We're going to spend a few days in Rome, then we're going to spend a couple days in Venice, and then we're going to spend the last night in Ravenna, so we're already in the cruise port city, because it is 3.5 hours away, so I'd rather get there the day before, rather than, God forbid, there's a big accident or something on the road and we can't get to the port.
Italian traffic is not necessarily known for its ease.
Yes. Diabetic wants to know, is doing a transatlantic down to San Juan takes a more southerly route? I mean, not really. It's sort of, kind of.
Pretty much
It is more southern, maybe just a little dip more southern than Florida, but it's really not going to be much different than taking the transatlantic straight into Florida. It's really not. So slightly longer distance, but I don't know if it's going to be, the Atlantic is going to do what the Atlantic wants to do. It's kind of like what I say about Alaska, where people are like, well, what's it going to be like in Alaska? It's like, well, Alaska's going to do what Alaska wants to do. We can look at all the historical data. And you may get there and that historical data just goes out the window because it just decided that today we're going to snow and we're going to give you 40-mile-an-hour winds, and that was never in the historical data. So yeah, you know, the biggest thing about these crossings is not necessarily storms, but it's just these big swells that just come in, and I call them mystery swells. The worst rocking we ever had on a ship was the Norwegian Escape, at least for me, but it was the Norwegian Escape, the very first cruise after the restart. And if you know, that is a big ship. That's 4,000 guests. That is a very big ship. And there were no storms, perfectly sunny weather for 2 days, but there were just these big rolling swells, and it was causing the ship to pitch back and forth. And it was, I don't think the captain had the stabilizers out, because that probably would have helped a little bit, but it was just a continuous pitch back and forth, and it was actually very difficult. You could not walk in a straight line when you were on the upper deck. It was just impossible to walk in a straight line. And no storm, just these big swells. So I think more than anything else, that's what you really got to watch out for. Yes, on occasion you will get caught up in storms. Of course, there's video out there that you can watch showing ships in storms and things getting thrown around, and that does happen from time to time. We're going to be on a smaller ship. I don't remember exactly the gross tonnage, but this ship is plus or minus 2,000 people. So
It's just under 100,000 gross tons.
so just under 100,000 gross tons. Actually, she's
Well,
not much.
actually, just over 90,000, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Just over
so-
90,000
So, yeah, so
gross
she's a
tons.
bit smaller, because the Virgin Voyages are 110, so just a little bit higher. Fun in the Sunset, that's how you meet a lot of people, by bumping into them. So I distinctly remember on that cruise having a plate in the buffet, and I'm trying to walk, and there was either a child or a teenager coming at me, and we were both, like, we were going to walk into each other if we kept walking. So I finally stopped. I said, "Go ahead." And he just went, because if we kept walking, we were just being thrown into each other's path, and it was hilarious. So one of us had to stop walking so the other one could get by. Benny wants to know, when do you make a deposit for the pre-cruise stuff? You're talking about the Italy cruise. Monday, I will be setting all that up with our tour partner. I was waiting to hear back on how many people were going to be joining us. I think there's 12 of us doing the pre-cruise tour, something like that. So I'll be coordinating that with the tour partner on Monday. We had a few extra people than we planned for, so she was just revising the pricing, and then I'll reach out to you guys on Monday. But yeah, we're very excited. This is the first time that we're doing like the cruise, the pre-tour, all that good stuff. And a couple of our guests are going to be staying after the cruise in Rome, so we'll be helping them out with that as well. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to see everybody. It's going to be something totally different. And another thing that I truly cannot wait for is the Avalon Christmas time on the Rhine. Oh my God, folks. I'm going to leave that up there for a little bit, because the big thing is we have $700 per person savings on this particular cruise. I should say up to $700 per person savings on this Christmas markets cruise. We booked, I think, 3 or 4 more rooms this past week. People are very excited about this. We have 62 or 64 people on the ship. The ship only holds 150 people or 140 people, something like that.
Closing in on half the ship.
I mean, we're closing in on half the ship already. So yeah, if you want to come join us. And for those of you who have already booked, our prices have not changed. The reason why we haven't increased savings is because Avalon's prices have gone up, and our prices are locked. One of the super cool things about Avalon, and what I love about them as a travel partner, is we can sell as many rooms as we want at the group rate until they run out of rooms on the ship. Whereas on most cruise lines, like I'm working on another group, I've got multiple groups going, we're given, we have to pick how many rooms do we want, and once those rooms go away, we don't have any more group rate cabins. So if you've been wanting to do Christmas markets, this would be a great time to do it. We're going to be doing this December 7th through the 14th of 2027 if you want to come along. It is on the Avalon View. We're going to start in Basel, Switzerland, and we will end up in Frankfurt, Germany. And yes, we will be visiting Strasbourg along the way. The stop-off point will be Kiel, but we got Breisach, Kiel, Ludwigshafen, Rudesheim, Cologne, Mainz, and then Frankfurt. So it'll be a northbound. And we plan to fly into Zurich a few days early because they have beautiful Christmas markets there too. And I want to see if I can find one of those trains up in the mountains take one of those trains up there because they look absolutely beautiful. I'm really into trains, so I do love that. I absolutely love the train. And currently, it literally is $700 per person, up to $700 per person savings on this. So if you want to go on a Christmas market cruise, come along. So a couple of things have been happening this week. You know, we always talk about travel insurance and having travel insurance because you just never know what's going to happen. And there was an article that just came out that tomorrow already, Royal Caribbean has announced that their ship is going to be up to 6 hours late tomorrow. The Utopia of the Seas is expected to arrive in the Port Canaveral up to 6 hours late tomorrow. Now, the thing about Port Canaveral, you know, number one, I mean, 6 hours late, you're probably going to miss any flight that you plan to take. But the other thing is, the port is well over an hour from the airport. You know, you've got to come all the way back to Orlando to get to the airport. So that, I mean, you're probably going to end up spending a day in Orlando or maybe in Cocoa Beach before you're going to catch a flight. But apparently there is some sort of a strong cold front that's going to bring high winds and high seas. And what most people don't think about is these big cruise ships, that is just a massive sail down the side of the ship, you know, with all the balconies and everything, and the wind just gets caught up in there, and it severely slows down the ship. And then if the waves kick up, the ship's just going to have to slow down. So it's really interesting that, you know, this far in advance, they can go, yeah, look, the weather's going to be so bad. I remember on the MSC Seashore, I think it was, we were 7 hours late getting back into Port Canaveral because a big storm came in between us. We were still down in Mexico, like Cozumel area, and the storm was between us and Port Canaveral, and we were 7 hours late coming back in. So this is why we always recommend travel insurance, because you just never know. And, you know, then you got the people coming in who are supposed to be getting on the ship, and they're warning them, hey, don't come in early because the parking lots, you know, the parking lots are full. Because generally we plan on people like driving away by like 8 o'clock in the morning, which is going to open up parking slots for the new people to come in. Well, right now there's not going to be any parking. So it's really going to require a lot of patience if you're coming on the Utopia of the Seas tomorrow. So, and they don't even know the exact times yet. So if you are on the Utopia of the Seas going out tomorrow, please monitor. I don't know if they're doing text, if they're doing email, but just monitor that you don't show up so early and then there's nowhere for you to go. So yeah, that is going to be incredible. That is going to require incredible patience. Benny is saying, please get travel insurance. Unfortunately, they had to use travel insurance on our most recent cruise together. You know, the thing about travel insurance is you don't need travel insurance until you need travel insurance, and then it's too late. So yeah, make sure you get that. Yeah, and Judy is saying that it's worth every penny. Absolutely, it is worth every penny. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I don't need it. You know, nothing's going to happen. You know, I'll take care of it. Just let's visit to the medical center on a cruise ship is very expensive. You think going to your doctor is expensive? It's more expensive on a cruise ship. So,
and that is with most U.S. health insurance, because that is considered in a foreign country.
And international waters, you're outside the U.S.
Your health insurance is unlikely to cover you. I mean,
Yeah.
there are some plans that cover you internationally, but not that many.
No, not that many. So, you know, travel insurance, definitely. You want to have travel insurance. We talk about this a lot. Rebecca and I have always gone with travel insurance. We personally use and we sell Allianz travel insurance just because we've had very, very good luck with it. And in fact, we just had, you know, Benny was on Allianz, and they had a very quick turnaround on their claim. So that's just one of the reasons why we do like them so much, because any of our clients that have made claims with them, it seems to be, you know, cleared up very, very quickly and taken care of. So that is really, really good.
Although it is very important for, especially if it's a medical claim, to get copies of every single piece of paper. so that you can show this to the insurance company.
Every single piece of paper, because you will need that for the insurance company, and take pictures of stuff if you're, if you can. So, hello, South Wales. How are you? Good to see you. Again, I do love that we can talk to people around the world. It is so great to see you. I've got a great colleague of mine over there in the UK. I do get folks reaching out from the UK and around the world to book cruises, and unfortunately, because of cross-border rules in general, I can't. I think Virgin is one of the only that really allows me to book just about anybody, and I can even book in other currencies, which is nice. But most of the cruise lines have these thing called cross-border rules. But I have a lovely travel agent over in the UK area that I can refer people to, which is nice, and he sends people for North America my way. So I do love this industry very, very much. So, Judy's saying less than a week to get paid on their claim. That's lovely. That's lovely. I love that. Alex is reminding people that if you're on the Lalito Loca cruise, which is coming up in April, we think we know where the cruise terminal is going to be. Way to go, Philadelphia. Let's wait until 4.5 months before everybody shows up to start building the terminal. Only 2,500 people going to show up. Hey, you know what? Maybe we should start building this thing now. I think they should have just waited till March.
Yeah.
Just made it a challenge. But I think we know where the cruise terminal is finally. But if you are already booked on that cruise, you should have received an email yesterday or the day before with the planned schedule, and also you can sign up for a group dinner. Right now we have 3 group dinners planned. We're splitting the group up into 3 dinners because it's a big group. So we're splitting you guys up into 3 dinners. Definitely sign up for a dinner with Tony and Jenny B.
And we're talking a dinner.
Yeah, 1 dinner. Just sign up for 1 dinner. If we get closer to the cruise and there's still room, we'll open it up and you can go ahead and book a second or a third. But for right now, just pick one of those dinners. And so it's going to be April 16th through the 23rd. The big reason why we're doing this particular cruise is Tony really wanted to be on the first cruise coming out of Philadelphia in almost 20 years. Again, they just started building the cruise terminal. Don't even have a cruise terminal yet. Norwegian has a 4-year exclusive agreement to use that particular cruise terminal, and already other cruise lines are starting conversations with Philadelphia. So I would not be surprised to see like Royal Caribbean, Carnival, maybe even Princess, bring a ship in. It's nice to have something other than just, because Manhattan and Brooklyn especially, those terminals are getting old. They need some love. And I did see there was a master plan that was put out by Manhattan, but it will be nice, to offer some different, because Philadelphia is a little further south, so they can get down into the Caribbean a little faster. Plus, they can still offer those Canada-New England cruises up north, which is going to be really nice. So that is going to be a really good cruise. April 16th through the 23rd of 2026. That is Norwegian Jewel, Philadelphia, Bermuda, and Charleston, South Carolina. If you've never been to Charleston, South Carolina on a cruise ship, you are in for a treat. It is, I think it's my favorite stop now in the U.S., like any of the U.S. Boston was lovely. Maine, we didn't get a chance to do. New York, of course, is New York. New York is amazing, but Charleston was just a fabulous stop. I absolutely love Charleston. So that's the one I'm really looking forward to going back to. Hopefully we're gonna get a chance to do one of the catamarans that we did not get to do in Bermuda, but yeah, so I am so looking forward to that. And Travis wants to know, how is the Norwegian Jewel? So the Norwegian Jewel is going in for a dry dock very shortly, she hasn't done it yet. But yeah, she's about to go in for a dry dock. Now, it's not one of those, long dry docks. It's not like a month, something like that. I think it's 2.5 weeks or something like that. But she's going to get a nice refresh. And she's also getting the Vibe Beach Club. All of that class of ship is now getting the Vibe Beach Club. And I believe it's going to be up on the top deck that's in the front of the ship, because it's just like a big wide open deck. So yeah, it's a Norwegian Jewel. There is a love for these smaller ships. She's an older ship. She's a smaller ship. But there's a lot of love for these ships. And actually, the Hallmark Christmas cruise was on one of her sisters last year. And it's just kind of fun to see these, to go on these ships. And I have not had a complaint from any of our clients who have gone on the Jade, the Jewel, the Gem, the Sun, and those smaller ships. I think Norwegian does a great job taking care of those ships. Most of these cruise lines do a great job taking care of the older ships. They just may not have all of the bells and whistles of the newer ships, just because of the size. But one of the lovely things about going on a smaller ship is there is a lower guest to crew ratio usually, so the crew gets to know you, and I love that. You really do. There is a real difference between cruising on a big mega ship and cruising on a smaller ship. The crew really does get to know you. So yeah, so if you're thinking about it, we have. What do we have for another couple of days? Because I've got to release these cabins, actually for today. I got to release the cabins tomorrow. I have 2 or 4 balcony cabins that they gave me back, and they're about $1,000 less than what Norwegian is currently charging for this cruise. I've got like 2 to 4 of them left. Thank you for reminding me. I actually totally forgot. So if anybody is looking at this Norwegian cruise and you want to come on and get a balcony, I released the interiors and I released the ocean views because my price was actually higher than what they're charging now publicly, but their public price for the balconies, because the inventory is much lower, right now my price is about $1,000 less. So yeah, I'll be sending out an email blast about that if anybody wants to come join on. We didn't know that Norwegian was going to give us those cabins back. They actually gave us some cabins back.
Because we had a few cancellations.
Yeah, we had a few cancellations, so they gave me the cabin back, and I didn't even realize that. And sometimes I just don't even realize things are going on. So, let's see. Darla wants to know. I don't remember if I asked this already, but since you love trains, have you ever been on or booked a client on the Canadian Rocky Rail trip? I have had clients reach out about the Rocky Mountaineer. We didn't end up booking, but Rocky Mountaineer is one of my travel partners. I want to go on the Rocky Mountaineer myself. And I had a client, we had a plan, but he ended up not doing it, where he was going to go from Florida all the way to Alaska and back. Amtrak straight up the eastern coast, then catch via rail, go across Canada, catch the Rocky Mountaineer. And then I can't remember if it was the Alaska. No, I don't think he needed the Alaska Railroad because it was going to be like Vancouver round trip or something like that. But we had that all planned out, and then they decided not to do it because his wife doesn't fly, and we had it all planned out. It's beautiful. So yes, we can book trains, and we do book the trains as well. They're a lot of fun. It's something, out of the ordinary. I always love doing things that are a little bit out of the ordinary. You're welcome, Travis. Yeah. Oh, wow. You're going to be on December. Oh, you're going to be on for Christmas and New Year's. That is absolutely lovely, doing the holidays at sea. We started doing that. This will be our 3rd year in a row that we'll be on a ship for Christmas. The first time we won't be on for New Year's. The last 2 times we've been on for New Year's. It is really special being on a cruise ship for Christmas and especially New Year's. Because New Year's, you're like, I'd love to go out and do things, but, getting on the road after the New Year for me, it's just something I really don't want to do. I mean, I trust my driving. I just don't know about everybody else out on the road and they've been drinking or whatnot. So it's absolutely lovely being on a cruise ship where you can just party all night and all you got to do is you just get yourself back to the room. So.
Yeah, because I party all night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, party all night.
You bet. That's what happens.
Wow, John Major's looking forward to Charleston. You've never been there. Oh my gosh! So when we get to Charleston, to walk into the downtown area, it's the old market area. I think it's only 2 or 3 blocks from the ship.
I'd say it's probably about 4 blocks.
Okay, maybe 4 blocks. But I was surprised. It was like right there. It was like right there. I'm like, oh wow, we're really close.
I'm not a
So
fast
Central
walker,
Market.
And I think it took us maybe 5 or 8 minutes.
Yeah. So it's right there. The Central Market is like the center of everything, and then everything else branches off from there. So, Jay, is the Carnival bundle or the Norwegian free at sea a better deal? Again, I haven't really looked at that bundle yet because it's new. I think the Carnival bundle is more expensive than the free at sea, but I have not looked to see whether it includes coffee and bottled water, because that's one of the big things that free at sea does not include. So I'll just have to take a look. It's a great question. I really have not looked at that bundle yet. I'll be honest, I don't sell all that much.
see, it offers
Carnival?
the Cheers drink package, which would include
That would
the
include
coffee
coffee,
and
yep.
bottled water, premium Wi-Fi, some specialty dining discounts,
Oh,
spa
nice.
credits, and shore excursion credits.
So if all of that is something that you're going to use, I mean, it is a different package. So Norwegian Cruise Line is going to, here's what Norwegian Cruise Line is going to give you. They're going to give you a beverage package that will include basically the bottom shelf liquors. It will include soda. It will include, soft drink, mocktails, things like that, but it will not include any specialty coffee. It will not include bottled water. And then you will get 3 specialty dining meals included, and those 3 meals are only $60. That's how much you end up paying for it. And then you only get 150 minutes of Wi-Fi, which is still the dumbest thing in the world. And you get a $50 shore excursion credit with the free at sea. So everything you're getting with Carnival is more than what Norwegian. But then again, that's the same with Princess Plus. If you really want to know, that's getting close to Princess Plus, what they're doing. Princess Plus has been the best paid bundle at sea, period, for many, many years. And I still think they are. Until you step up to all-inclusive luxury, Princess Plus, and especially Princess Premier, basically makes it an all-inclusive cruise except for shore excursions. That's really the best one out there. So it sounds like Carnival is leaning into Princess a little bit.
Looks like they have 2 different bundles.
They
One is
do.
called the Essentials. That's $50 a day per person.
Yeah.
And then the one that included all that stuff I was talking about, that is $90 a day per person.
That's priced what the Premier used to be. But did that include the prepaid gratuities?
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah. So that's the big thing that they're leaving off. Both Carnival and Norwegian are leaving off the prepaid gratuities, which the Princess Plus includes. So the Princess Plus, just for comparison, $65 per day per person. You get your full drink package. You get unlimited high-speed Wi-Fi. You get the prepaid gratuities for your room. That's included. You get 4 casual dining meals. So these are restaurants that are about $15 per person, typically something like an Alfredo's Pizzeria, a gastropub, O'Malley's Irish Pub, depending on what's on that particular ship. And then they waive the delivery fees for their Ocean Now delivery and their room service delivery. So that's all wrapped up in there. So I still think that's the best one. And then if you switch to Premier, Premier is either $100 or $105 per day, depending on which ship you're on. But then it becomes unlimited. You can have all the specialty dining you want. Your drink package goes up to $20 a drink. You now get the photo package. You get reserved seating in the theater. So, I mean, for $90 a day versus $100 a day, I would take Princess Premier every single time because you're actually getting a lot more.
Yeah,
But
and basically, I mean, it comes down to your individual needs. Because when we went on our Carnival cruise, the drink package alone, the Cheers package was right around $50 a day per person.
Yeah.
And because I barely drink at all, and Walter will have maybe 1 or 2 drinks and then a whole mess of coffees,
yeah.
we saved quite a bit. When we did the math, we saved quite a bit by
$700.
not buying the package.
Yeah. We didn't even get the non-alcoholic package. We saved $700 on that particular cruise by not buying the
Because
package.
Carnival, I don't know if they've added one, but they, at the time, only had the soda package, or I think they have added one that's,
Well, they basically have the non-alcoholic package now.
yeah. But
Finally.
they, at the time, they
Finally.
didn't, and we don't drink a lot of soda, so a soda package made no sense for us.
Brandy wants to know, what do we suggest doing in Charleston? So we did a food tour through a company called Bulldog Tours that was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Of course, you're going to want to walk through Central Market. There's so much cool stuff in Central Market, so much cool stuff in Central Market. There is a ton of history. If you like history, and like I said, we use Bulldog Tours. We actually got them through Get Your Guide is how we found them. Thank you, Betty and Jim. They're the ones who turned us on to Get Your Guide. They've been phenomenal for independent tours. But the actual tour company that did the tour is called Bulldog Tours. And that was great. There's just a ton of history. Of course, you can do the carriage rides and things like that. But I would highly recommend looking at the food tours from Bulldog Tours because you get a nice walk around Charleston. And then once you're done with that, then you can go off and do, whatever it is you want to do. But it is absolutely
And
beautiful
according
city.
to my sister, I'm trying to remember the name. I want to say it's the Planters Inn.
Yes.
They have a restaurant where they serve apparently the most amazing coconut pie or coconut cake ever.
There you
I have
go.
not had it because we're full from our food tour.
Yes.
And it is quite expensive, but apparently it can feed about 4 people. They're
Yes.
huge pieces.
Yeah,
of
so.
cake.
WT, have we ever taken the Norwegian breakaway? What did we think about it? You're going for Christmas and New Year's from New York. Love it. Love it. So we weren't on the breakaway. We were on the getaway, which is her sister. And we were also on the Escape, another one of her sisters. Great ship. My favorite aspect of that particular ship is the waterfront on deck 8. That is where we spent a lot of time hanging out. And I mean, one, because she sprained her ankle, but two, because it's just beautiful sitting
Oops.
out there. So it's just, it's a big, wide open, almost like a boulevard. They have restaurant seating out there. They have chairs. There's a bar out there. And depending on which side of the ship you're on, you can sit in the sun, you can sit in the shade. Now, coming out of New York for New Year's, you won't be sitting out there for a little while, but that is one of my favorite things. They also made really good use of the atrium area. It has this big, massive video screen, and they did a lot of games, a lot of trivia, and they really took advantage of the big video screen doing a lot of visual games, like maybe puzzle pieces coming together, trying to figure out what it is or something blurry. So they did a lot of really fun stuff out in that atrium area as well. I'll also say that the specialty dining was very impressive on Norwegian. So we were on the Aqua, we were on the Escape, and we've been on the Getaway. Specialty dining is quite good on Norwegian, and it's been pretty consistent. Cagney's is the one that, that's the steakhouse that everybody loves. But we've really enjoyed the dining on there as well. So you're going to have a great time. Those are fun ships. Those are really, really fun ships. That'll be a nice ship to spend the holidays. I bet they'll have a big party for the actual New Year's. So Christmas and New Year's, people, it's fun.
The only thing I'll say about them is that, a couple of things. In the atrium, yes, it's very well set up, but when there are activities going on, it can be hard to get to the coffee shop if you're trying to.
Yeah,
Because
the coffee
it's
shop
kind of
downstairs.
off the atrium, the bottom level, so it's a little hard to get to
Yeah.
if there's other things going on. And the pools, I think, are probably a little
Small.
smaller than they should be. And
They're
in
small
the-
and they're kind of sunk in, so it's not the most pleasant experience.
Yeah, so we didn't really make much. Well, I probably wouldn't have wanted to get in and out of it with my sprained ankle. But the adults only Spice H2O area really does not have a lot of shade, and they don't have a pool. They have hot tubs and a water feature.
Yeah, yeah. But it is
So-
nice to get away from the kids.
Yeah, but the waterfront area was lovely.
The waterfront area was great. Yeah, the pool was it's not a well-designed pool area for whatever reason. So, kind of sunk down. Alex heard a rumor that Norwegian will be bringing back Free at Sea Plus. I believe they are. There was a post, which I cannot find. It was John Chernesky, I think is his name. He is one of our points of contact as a travel agent. Apparently, he made a post alluding to Free at Sea Plus. That whole thing has been such a mess. Free at Sea, then we go to More at Sea, then we go to Free at Sea, and the Free at Sea drink package is now basically the one that they had in More at Sea. Part of that is because I really think Norwegian has not had leadership for a while, and they actually just announced, effective January 19th, Mark, I'm going to butcher your last name, Kozlauskas, maybe, will be the president of Norwegian Cruise Line. He comes from Avoya Travel. So hopefully that's going to help. But I think the lack of leadership is what kind of caused this little botch of let's go from Free at Sea, let's go to More at Sea, and now let's go back to Free at Sea. Caused so much confusion. And I saw some of my travel agent colleagues talking about, hey, the Plus is coming back. How do we add it to booking? So I don't know that it's been announced officially, but it sounds like the Plus package is coming back. And what will the Plus package look like? Who knows? Will it look like the old Plus package? Will it look like a new package? Will it look like Plus Ultra? I have no idea.
And honestly, I honestly think More and Sea was a better name for it, regardless of what's in the package.
Yeah.
Because Free at Sea is kind of a misnomer.
It's a total misnomer. And in fact, I had somebody reach out to me saying, hey, I see this new thing on Norwegian's website, this free at sea. Can you add that since it's free? And I'm like, it's not free. It's not. And the way they justify that is because you're not paying for the alcohol and you're not paying for the dinners. You're paying the gratuities for those items. And that's why they call it free at sea, because technically you're getting the meals free, technically you're getting the drinks free, but it's not free. So, and by the way, you don't have to take the whole package. That's another thing. You don't have to take the drinks package. You don't have to take the meals. We can actually break it out. So if you don't take the drinks package, for example, that's like $220 per person, I think. So that will knock that off. And then you can still have the meals, and the meals are a great deal. $60 for 3 meals, and like any given meal on that ship, it's going to be around $50 per person. So $60 for 2 people to have 3 meals. Or $120 for 2 people. Yeah, that's a great deal.
Although you do definitely have to be aware of the fact that the full drinks package on Norwegian does not include specialty coffee. I think them and Margaritaville at Sea are
And
really
water.
the only ones that don't include specialty coffee in their full
And
drinks
bottled water.
package.
No bottled water, no coffee. So, have we sailed on the Celebrity Beyond? You're sailing on it in 2026. 8 days Aruba for the primary destination. Lovely. I love it. We have not sailed on her yet. In fact, we haven't sailed on an Edge class ship yet, but we have sent so many people on those ships. And what they come back with predominantly is, one, how gorgeous the ship is, because she is a big floating resort. 2, everybody likes the martini bar show and all of that, but if you really want a good cocktail, you go to the world-class bar. That's an amazing bar. And plus, I hear so many good reviews about the sunset bar on the back of the ship, on top and the back. Also, the Eden show. It sounds like the Eden show has evolved, especially if you're going on Celebrity XL. That's a whole new area back there now. Now that's the bazaar. And I'm really looking forward to getting feedback from clients as they come back from that one. But she's a beautiful ship. What's really nice about that ship is that and that whole class is that they have the 4 dining rooms. So you have a slightly the base menu is the same in all 4 restaurants, but then each restaurant has a slightly different extra couple of items like Italian or Greek or things like that. So I do like that. But you're going to have an absolutely amazing time. Keep in mind, if Aruba is your primary stop, just keep in mind nothing is guaranteed. No stops are guaranteed on any cruise. In fact, we've seen, I just mentioned Norwegian. Norwegian has done some sweeping changes of their itineraries, but you just never know. And plus, like we talked about earlier, the Utopia of the Seas is now going to be 6 hours late coming in, so that affected the next cruise too. So they're having changed some things around. So I hope you get to Aruba, but just always remember that is not 100% guaranteed if for whatever reason the ship cannot get there. So WT wants to know, how do you get the T-shirt that I have on? You can just go to where'swaltertravel.com and go into. It's one of those. It's one of the menu items. It will get you to the store, so you can totally get that. Let me see. Royal Caribbean Vision of the Seas, February 13th, out of Maryland. What are my thoughts on that boat? Well, first of all, it's not a boat, as Captain Kate has taught us very well. It's a ship. Of course, she's always said that. You can put a boat on a ship, but you can't put a ship on a boat. But technically, you can grab the Azamara Journey and drop it right on top of the Icon of the Sea. So what is it then? Is it a boat at that point? It kind of takes the whole equation out. The Vision of the Seas is one. That is a small ship. That is their smallest class ship.
78,000 gross tons.
Yeah, so 78,000 gross tons. Now, the smallest ship we've been on is around 30,000 gross tons. That's how small those Azamara ships are. The first thing you've got to understand right off the bat is, it's going to be well maintained. It's going to be well kept. But if you're looking for the scratches, the scuff, the wear, you're going to find it. They can't keep everything perfect at all time. But the big plus about those ships and that entire class of ship and why people love sailing them is because the crew gets to know you. There's far less people, and the service tends to be better.
Right around 2,000.
Yeah, right around 2,000 guests. The main dining room tends to be better. The buffet tends to be better because they are not preparing food for 7,000 people, for 5,000 people, for 4,000 people. They're preparing smaller amounts of food. There tend to be, yes, it's still going to be an assembly line process, but because they're not preparing so much food, they can take a little bit more time with what they're doing. So those smaller ships get major props for more personal service, and in general, the food quality tends to be a little bit better because they're making less of it. So those are extremely popular ships. We have the Grandeur of the Seas sails out of Tampa, and I would really like to get on board because we've had them alongside us, and they look absolutely lovely, absolutely lovely. So I think you're going to have a great time.
The biggest thing to be aware of, if you watch TV and you see the ads for Royal Caribbean, most of that stuff they're showing is not going to be on that ship. They have a rock wall and pools.
Yep.
They do not have a
And
flow
shows.
rider
They
and
got
shows.
good original
Yes, they have
shows. They're going to have great bars and lounges. Again, the food should be good. They have some really interesting pools on some of those ships too. I can't remember if that's one of the ones that has like a solarium type pool that's enclosed. But they have very interesting pools on those ships because, again, those were built like 20 years ago or so, and there was a whole different vibe with cruising back then and how they made their ships and things like that. So one of the things I love about the older ships is you don't forget that you're on a cruise ship. They're very nautical, if you will. And I absolutely love that about the cruises. Yeah, okay, so it does have that solarium pool. See, they don't really make that anymore. Those indoor pools are lovely. It's one of the reasons why we like Celebrity so much. They've kept that solarium pool. Some of the Princess ships have them. Almost all of the Holland America ships have them. I love those solarium pools. They're great because when the weather's a little bit cooler, you still have a nice pool to go and enjoy. And the look of it is just really, really cool. So I think you're going to have a great time. It's funny to me when folks come and just say, well, I don't want a ship that's older than 5 years. And, the new ships are amazing, right? They're absolutely amazing. I love the Icon. I love the Star. They're just incredible ships to go on. But when you step onto like an Azamar Journey or you step onto these Vision class pools, it's a whole different kind of a vibe. I think it's much more relaxing. It's not near as loud, that's for sure. Like you walk onto an Icon of the Seas, it's not like physically loud, but it's just like in your face. Oh my God, look at this thing. This thing is like unreal. But when you walk onto that, it's almost like, oh, this is a cool little resort. This is going to be a fun week. So yeah, I think you're going to have an absolutely lovely time. And you're sailing out of Baltimore. Thankfully, we're sailing out of Baltimore again, so that is nice. I think you're going to have an absolutely lovely time. So, hey, Warren, thank you so much for tuning in. And if I missed anybody, hi, everybody. How are you? Good to see everybody. It's nice to see you all. And I'm glad to see that we actually got some of the Facebook posts coming in here. And for those of you who found us on YouTube, good job. If you weren't here earlier, we had a technical snafu. The software would not launch the show, so we had to quickly
I thought you were
scramble.
just playing hide and seek.
Yeah, there you go. But hey, props to everybody who found us on YouTube today.
You get a big thumbs up.
Oh man, that was something. So. Yeah, so, Betty's making a good point. Betty is the one who turned us on to Get Your Guide. So Get Your Guide it's kind of like a Viator, a shore excursions group project expedition, where you can book tours in port. But she makes a very good point. They use Get Your Guide, they use Viator, they use some of these services when they're confident that they can get back to the ship on time. Because most, if not all, do not guarantee that you're going to get back to the ship on time. There are 2 independent tour operators specifically who do. They have a return to ship guarantee. That's Shore Excursions Group and Venture Ashore. Both of those companies guarantee that if you do not make it back to the ship due to their tour, they are responsible to get you to the next port of call. I mean, that's it. It's right in their contract. It's right in there.
Yeah, so if you just wander off from their tour and they're late, that does not count.
That does not count. And if they get you back to the terminal and there's an hour to go, well then, yeah, you should get back on the ship. But when you're booking these independent tours, you need to make sure, that is one of the kind of the rules that we do too, is let's say the ship is coming in at 8 and it's going to be leaving at 5. We want to be on a tour that's like starting by 9 o'clock in the morning. And let's say it's a 3-hour tour. That means it's supposed to end at 12. We've got a 5-hour cushion between the time that tour is supposed to end and the ship is all aboard. What you don't want to do is schedule an independent tour at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's 2.5 hours. And all aboard is at 5. That you're only giving yourself a 30-minute window, especially like, let's say in the Caribbean, where traffic can be horrendous at any given time. There's so many 2-lane roads, one small accident and that's it. You're not getting anywhere. So when you book these independent tours, make sure you have a big wide cushion. And as Betty said, if you don't have that big wide cushion, then make sure to use the cruise line instead. So either they're going to wait for you or they will get you to the next port. A lot of people don't know that second part. The rule is not that the ship is going to wait for you. The rule is the ship will wait as long as it can. But at some point, the ship has to go because it has to maintain its schedule. When that happens, the cruise line needs to get you to the next port. I think the longest we've waited is an hour.
Probably.
Yeah, it's like around an hour we waited.
I think I've seen some people where they're like maybe 90 minutes, but
Yeah.
probably no more than that.
Yeah, because these schedules are kind of tight, and at some point, and it costs the cruise line a lot of money. I don't know if he was joking, but the captain of the Margaritaville, they held the ship for 30 minutes or so because their own tour was late. And then we had a couple of guests that were late getting back to Margaritaville, and they held the ship a little bit longer to let them on. But he threw out a number that just astounded me, how much it cost the ship to stay beyond. If the ship stays beyond the time it's supposed to let loose the ropes, that's more basically rental time to keep the pier, plus you're paying the pier workers to stay there. So if you miss your departure time, that clock starts running, and it's like your taxi. The meter starts running, and it is very expensive to hold a ship in port. So that's basically why they don't do it if you're not there and they have no reason to hold it. But yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is also another reason that Walter, I don't wear watches, but Walter likes to, when he's on a cruise, have a physical, non-connected to the internet sort of
Yep.
watch so that he can always keep that on ship's time.
Yes. There is this thing called ship time, and there's this thing called local time. So when you're in ports, especially as you're moving around time zones, the ship can decide that we're going to stay on our clock. Everything that we do is going to stay on the clock on the ship, not the clock that's on land, and that's called ship time. And if you're using a phone, like we all do, right? And you go ahead and connect to the cellular, well, your phone's going to pick up a local time, and you may be an hour ahead, you might be an hour behind. Being behind is really bad. Being ahead is okay, because at least you might come back to the ship early. But being behind is really bad, because you might think you have an hour left when the ship is now untying. So I wear just literally it's a $16 watch that I got on the Sun Princess. Actually, I got two. No, it's an $18, excuse me. It's an $18 watch because I got two for $36. So it's an extra $2. But it's just, it's a dumb watch. It's just a watch with hands on it, and I set the time. So the time that I have on that watch is whatever time is supposed to be per the ship. It doesn't matter.
If you can't do that for whatever reason or don't have that, make sure you have your phone set to not
Manual.
update the time.
Yeah, take your date and time settings and turn off all the automatic stuff, set it manually, and then don't change it again until you get off the ship. That is like a big problem. I mean, our technology is so smart that it's like, hey, it's 2 o'clock here, and I'm going to change your time so it matches up with everything that's going on here. Even like if you have tours scheduled with the ship, those tours are going to run on the ship time. They know to run on the ship time. You also have to keep that in mind if you're working with independent tour operators and it's 2 o'clock on the ship, but it's 1 o'clock on land. Make sure the tour operator and you communicate, and well, what time am I actually meeting you? Am I meeting you at 1 o'clock local time? Am I meeting you at 1 o'clock ship time?
And we
time
actually
is it?
had that issue when we were in Halifax.
Yes.
The tour operator, normally, apparently, the tour operator was told in advance whether to stay on ship time or local time, and he was not told at this point, so he just went with local time. And he kept giving us the wrong times to return to the bus, and we had told him, I said, no, we're not on your time.
Yeah, but he kept doing it anyway. He couldn't stop.
Yeah.
He couldn't stop. It was hilarious. So, But yeah, so ship time, local time, that is always a source of confusion. And the best way around that is just get yourself a manual watch, get yourself a cheap one. You know, on almost every cruise ship, there's a sale on the last day or the last couple of days, and usually cheap watches are out there. Just grab yourself one of those watches. That's what I did, or get two. Get two. So, hey, good point, Eric. Eric is saying that the cruise line app clock is always set to ship time, unless they don't have an app, which, yes. Azamara does not have an app.
And sometimes their app
Oceana
will not work when you're off the ship, when you're not connected to the ship's
Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
sometimes.
It's not always reliable.
Yeah. Virgin Voyages is notorious for an app that does not work well when you get off the ship. But Philip wants to know, can you bring your Meta glasses or any smart glasses on a cruise? So that obviously comes from MSC saying that they're banned now. Well, now there's some confusion from that whole thing, because they put the you cannot bring the smart glasses. They will be confiscated by our security. That's the paragraph that they put them in, but the actual wording says you can't use them in the public areas. So, and what's also interesting about this whole discussion is that Disney is now working directly with Meta to make the glasses more useful in their theme parks. Where like you could look at something and say, what is that? And the glasses, you know, they have the audio feature as well. It could tell you it's actually going to try to make the experience in the parks even better. So Disney's leaning into them. As of right now, MSC is the only cruise line that's come out and said that you cannot use them. It has created a bit of an uproar because something I never even considered, to be honest with you, when I saw this come out. But people who are vision impaired, the glasses can obviously read. They have cameras, so they can actually read and describe what you're seeing. Even blind people, because of the audio feature, they can wear these glasses, and again, it can describe what it's seeing, maybe give you directions, things like that. So I don't know that they thought it completely through. I don't have an answer for that. But as of right now, and we had heard a rumor that Royal Caribbean was about to do the same thing. Now, we haven't heard anything from Royal Caribbean because all this uproar from MSC has probably made them go back and go, okay, how do we accommodate people who are using these glasses to improve the quality of their lives? You know, and there's a lot of people that I saw also saying, well, these are my prescription glasses. They're the only prescription glasses I have, so now what? So I don't know the answer to that. But right now, as far as we know, as of right now, MSC is the only one that has come out and explicitly said, you can't use them. Either they're going to be confiscated by security when you bring them on, or you cannot wear them when you're in public areas. The answer seems to be ambiguous, a little bit ambiguous, just because of where they put it on their page and then the wording that they use for it. So will they be confiscated, or can you not use them in public areas? It's very ambiguous. My interpretation was we're going to take them from you if you try to bring them on the ship, just because of the paragraph that it's in. The paragraph starts with, we can confiscate your items if you bring them on, and smart glasses was in that paragraph. So I don't know. It's an interesting discussion because they are useful to a lot of people, you know, and so how do you balance that?
And cruise lines do try to be accommodating of people who have various needs.
Yeah.
But you do have to realize, because except for a very small number of ships, they're not registered in the U.S., so they do not have to follow ADA rules.
Correct. There's some folks saying, well, you know, I'm going to sue under ADA. It doesn't apply. The only ship that would apply to would be the Pride of America.
Well, and some of the American Cruise Line ships.
Yeah, well, all of the American Cruise Line ships,
Yeah.
because they're registered in the U.S., so that's really it. So Philip wants to know, if you're caught using them, do you risk disembarkment at the next port? I don't know precisely what the penalty would be. But that is always a possibility, that if you bring an item that is prohibited to be brought on board the ship, it doesn't matter what that item, it could be CBD oils, it could be, you know, whatever it is, you run the risk that the ship could either take the item from you, well, they'll definitely take the item from you, and it's then their prerogative, if they feel that it's serious enough, that they could disembark you at the next port.
Although with
So,
with glasses, I would think, especially for a first quote-unquote
I wouldn't
offense,
think anything.
I would think they would just confiscate them and
I
not.
wouldn't think anything.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Again,
I know,
their
I know,
rules,
I know.
their sandbox.
I understand that, they have the prerogative, but generally, the disembarking tends to be for dangerous items.
Well, I mean, a travel agent was disembarked because she was trying to share some information with somebody that turned into a whole group of people being brought into a room, and she was escorted off the ship at the next port. There was nothing dangerous about that at all. So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't assume anything. I would not assume anything. I mean, I agree with Rebecca. It should be just take the thing and, slap on the hand. But if they want to make an example of you, they could throw you off the ship,
Well, yeah, I mean, they do have the right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand that. but-
Yeah. Prescription eyeglasses, what are smart glasses? So smart glasses, especially Meta, if you look at Meta smart glasses, these are glasses that have miniature cameras in them, they have audio devices in them, and they have AI. So basically, you can use them if you if you have vision impairment. It can read a menu for you. It can, tell you what your surroundings are. It can do a lot of. There's a lot of things that these glasses can do to help improve your quality of life. But they can record as well. So you can go ahead and turn the camera on to record video. And from what I've been told, there's a bright light that does come on the glasses, so everybody knows that you're being recorded. MSC has now come out and said, no, you can't do that.
Well, I have heard people
So-
say that if you wanted to, you could just paint.
Oh, there's nothing for you to paint over it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
could just paint over it.
Paint over it. Because there's no way to disable the light. That is one of the features of the glasses. You cannot disable the light in any way. You'd have to paint over it. Judy wants to know if MSC gave a reason. No. In fact, there was no announcement. It just kind of slipped in to the into the prohibited items. So we have to assume that something happened, but we don't know what. And MSC is not required to reveal why they made the decision.
And it's a good reminder that before you go on a cruise, because these things do change from time to time.
Right.
Just take a glance at the specific cruise line's prohibited items. You can Google
Maybe
that.
surprise.
And you can see what the specific cruise line does not allow you to have.
Yeah. In fact,
And it changes, like this was just added. Royal Caribbean at one point added the multi-plug devices.
Yeah, the multi-plug devices. So Royal Caribbean says anything that turns one power outlet into multiple power outlets is banned from the ship, and they will confiscate it. Or something as simple as that. You're like, oh, I'm just going to bring a little block that I just plug it in and turns it into 3. Those are banned from Royal Caribbean ships. So
But yeah, so
sometimes you
I
think
would
just the
say
basic things.
it's not a bad idea each and every time if you're
Yeah.
to just kind of at least glance over it, see if there's anything new.
Yeah, I mean, there was actually a scary incident with the Royal Caribbean Liberty of the Seas recently where a 69-year-old cruise guest boarded the Liberty of the Seas with a gun and ammunition in her purse.
Wow.
Well, she actually got on the ship. She got off the ship in Nassau, and it was when she was trying to get back on the ship in Nassau that she was arrested when they found the gun in the bag. So, and she just said she accidentally, like she didn't realize it, that it was in there. And I fully believe that, because if you're just used to having, if you're a gun owner, you're just used to having it on your person, you don't really think about it, right? It's kind of like your phone. You don't really think about it. But what's scary about the whole situation is that Fort Lauderdale security didn't catch that. They really should have caught that.
Well, there was another incident where I think somebody managed to get a gun. I don't know if they had ammunition on, I can't remember which cruise line. And then they were dumb enough to post social media things.
Well, no, they did that on purpose.
Well, okay.
Yeah, they actually tried to prove that they could get a gun on, and then the idiot posted on social media, and I believe that was Carnival Cruise Line, which banned them.
They were banned for life.
Yeah, banned for life. That's just a dumb thing to do.
Yeah.
But what's really sad about this thing is that, she was caught in Nassau. Now, that's a big no-no in the Bahamas to have a gun, and they crack down hard. They don't care who you are. They don't care if it's an accident. So she was locked up in a pretty bad prison for, it sounded like a week, until they could get the money to pay the bail and all of that stuff. So So yeah, so that is just really something, something like, smart glasses you wouldn't expect, something like, a multi-plug outlet you probably would not expect. So,
Well, and a lot of times people who just haven't cruised don't realize, like, you can't bring a clothes steamer or a clothes iron, even
Yeah, or
a
an
travel
iron.
one, even a small one. You cannot
Yeah.
bring those on board.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there that would absolutely surprise you. Like, wait, I can't bring this thing on board? I didn't
And
know
the
that.
CBD stuff surprises people because it is legal in a lot of
A lot of
U.S.
states.
states, but it is not legal on any cruise ship.
No, because it's not legal at the federal level. So because CBD and all of those products are not legal at the federal level, that's what the cruise lines follow here in the U.S. So they
And plus,
they're not-
each port has different rules, and they don't want to have to deal with all of that either.
well, and what is it? Jamaica with camouflage? It's one of those islands.
No, Barbados.
Barbados. So you can't wear camouflage coming off the ship, and there are big warnings, big signs.
Yeah.
So
And they post it
if-
in the daily
And if they
activity
see
thing.
you wearing it, walking off the ship, they're going to tell you to go get changed. But if you have a jacket on or something and it's underneath, well, guess what? You're setting yourself up to be arrested just for wearing camouflage. So there are some very strange, interesting things out there in the wonderful world of cruising that can always surprise you. Yeah, it is nuts. It is absolutely nuts. So, by the way, those of you watching today, this is actually our last show of the year from our home studio, because the next time you see us, we will be on the Queen Elizabeth, the Cunard Queen Elizabeth. We're hosting 65 guests for the holiday. We'll be on there through the 30th. So we're getting off just before the New Year. So this will be the first time in a while we're actually going to be home for New Year's Eve. I don't know what we're going to do for New Year's Eve. But maybe,
Sleep.
yeah, maybe if Steph isn't doing anything, we'll tell her to bring her pajamas over and we'll just have
Yeah,
a
I think
sleepover.
you need to, my theory is, watch the New Year's celebrations from whatever country it works out is a good time for you for your bedtime.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we'll watch London's stuff, so then we can get to bed at a reasonable hour.
There you go. That could always work very, very nicely. Yeah. So next time you see us, we will be on the Cunard Queen Elizabeth. This is our very first time going on Cunard, so we're both really excited. We've been wanting to go on one of these ships for a very long time. They're gorgeous. And then I got even more excited in October when the Brilliant Lady was coming into the port of Miami and the Queen Elizabeth was right next to us. They are simply stunning ships. One of the interesting things when I looked at the deck plan, they start on deck 1. The purser's office is down there. Some of the offices are down. Like the grand lobby goes all the way down to deck 1. And then, so they take advantage of every deck on this ship almost. So it was really interesting. So we got deck 1, 2, 3. I'll be hanging out on deck 1 at the purser's office doing office hours, hosting
Well,
folks.
Those decks exist on other cruise ships. They're generally just not public decks.
Yeah, well, then there's going to be A, B, and something else below that for the crew. But typically, like deck 1 on a ship is going to be just interiors and ocean views if they're using it. Like Carnival uses deck 1 a lot. It's going to be ocean views and interiors. There's no public space. A lot of times, deck 2 doesn't even have a public space. It starts off like deck 3, 4, 5. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be way down on deck 1 is where I'm going to be hanging out.
Well,
So
I wasn't saying necessarily there was public space, just that it's a public deck.
yeah. So, but anyway, so that's where we're going to be. December 18th through the 30th, we're going to be coming to you from the Cunard Queen Elizabeth. I'll try to post more. I know the last couple times we were on a ship, I really didn't post a lot because I was trying to just relax and enjoy. I've got tons of footage that needs to be edited. I'm going to be looking for an editing partner so we can start getting some of this content out there. I've got so much content that needs to go out, and I really want to start getting that out there. Yes, Hal does the same. But the interesting thing, Holland America, Carnival, Cunard, they're all the same company. Well, they're owned by Cunard Corporation.
Carnival Corporation.
They run independently, but a lot of those ship designs are very similar. If you look at them, they kind of share the same ship design. They're configured differently. They look differently, but inside you'll be like, oh wow, that looks a lot like a Cunard ship, or wow, that looks like a Holland America ship. They are all built by the same company. They kind of share Like the Star and the Sun Princess are kind of built on the Excel class from Carnival. There are elements where you can kind of see and go, oh yeah, that started out as an Excel class, and then they just simply altered it a little bit. So anyway, folks, so I'm going to get going. I've got a meeting coming up very, very shortly. So thank you for joining us for another live stream. Thank you to those on YouTube who came over and found us, and Facebook, because we could not get that stream going. So wherever you are in this amazing world, I hope you have an awesome holiday. The next time you see us, we'll be on the Cunard Queen Elizabeth. So, and if we can help you in any way with your travels, just reach out. where'swaltertravel.com. Click the links in wherever you're watching us right now, and we will do our very best to help you plan your next vacation. So have an awesome Sunday, everybody, and we'll see you soon.